This is the taillight light for the back of my 61 Corvair station wagon. And I asked Calvin if he had the ability to try and 3D print this for me. We had no reference to what I found out was a metal bracketed piece that gets clamped on through here. So we came up with our own design, and I had some sockets from a previous lighting setup that I had. Let me find the original. So this is what the socket originally looked like, and then I bent the end up. And then Calvin, it may be very hard to see, but right here, he made this little flat piece that actually has grooves on each side. And so this light slides into there, and it holds the light in place. And then there's just enough, grab and pull back to keep it from working its way back out. The other thing we did is we made a couple of gaskets. They're not great, but they're there. And I also used some of this clear plastic to form a lens on the inside. And you can see that it sits in there a little bit odd, but it sits in there. And what I was just talking to Calvin about was putting a little weep hole in near the bottom, so if water got in, it had a way of getting out. But I can probably do that after it's on the car, and that way, because I got to drill it on one side for one, and then for the other side when it reverses on the other, and it would be just my luck I'd get it wrong. So let me install this into, I guess he's threaded all these up by now. We are using a set screw and an Allen wrench and just tapping it into the plastic. But it seems to be doing a fairly decent job, so just kind of form this. I would guess with a little bit of experimenting, I might get a slightly better fit on this plastic, but I don't even know how it's going to hold up. It may be that when we turn the bulb on, it gets hot and melts. Truth be told, I doubt I'll rarely, if ever, be driving this car at night, but, just to be legal, I do need to have license plate lights. And at some point, I may paint these silver, being that they're the only black external thing on the car, but one last thing is, these are meant for the 1157 type of bulb, which I don't have that fits. If you'll notice, these are equidistant on each side, and the 1157 bulb, which I theoretically could use just one of the two filaments, they're offset. And so I've got to use an 1156 bulb, I believe, which is the single filament. But then I'm not sure I'm getting the contact I need. I guess we can test it on the battery. So I'll just touch the housing to here and one of the bulbs. Well, what do you know? It does work, so I won't have to go in there, but I do have to kind of cut the wire and heat shrink it so that it doesn't short out. And then I'll need to solder the wire onto the housing so that I can have the continuity that I need. It's going to be some bright license plates, but have no fear, at 80 horsepower, that thing's not going to necessarily be subject to tickets. Okay, so here is the socket. It's mounted inside. Again, like I said, it was a 2-wire system for an 1157 bulb, but we're running an 1156 because of the way the pins are in the socket. So cut the wire off, heat shrink tubed it, soldered the remainder onto here, mark this wire as the hot wire, and a little bit of install using our trusty nut driver. Just want to kind of do the best I can. The rubber gasket wasn't perfect, but trying to position it at least favorable. Oh, it's lit. Come look. Okay, Cal. And look, there we go. We have lights. All right.